Segment 4, 9 minutes. Good morning, and we're back to Shades of Green, and I'm your host, Paul Ira. We're talking with Dave Tina, President of Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtors, and Stan Hannell from Drive Clean Energy Las Vegas. Gentlemen, you're going to give us a little update on electric vehicles and where electric vehicles are going. And I know, Dave, you talked earlier about having his and hers, Teslas. What's that all about?
Well, the first one was a stretch for us, but after 2 years, we had a second car, and we're like, let's see if we can get a Tesla similar to the price we were paying for the second car. And the prices, not that they've dropped, they've offered more models with different kilowatt hours. So we were able to do a lateral move and trade in our Mercedes for a Tesla, and you'd be surprised how affordable they are. Everyone thinks they're like out of range, no pun intended.
So what are the some of the specifications of? I've never had an electric car. What are some of the specifications you want to look for when you're buying an electric car? What are some of the numbers?
The kilowatt, it's, you know, you can do a 60, a 75, a 90, and that basically is how much range you have. So
that's your battery storage?
The battery
storage size, yeah. Kilowatt hours actually energy storage for.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's close though. Yeah, yeah, and so that like a Nissan Leaf or well, a Chevy Volt, which is a plug-in hybrid, has about a 16 kilowatt hour battery, but it also uses gasoline to supplement that. A Nissan Leaf, 24 kilowatt hours, but the Tesla actually set the standard for range. They start at I think 80 kilowatt hours and go up to 100 kilowatt hours now for battery packs.
So they just came out with 100. Yeah.
So another thing I'd like to make sure our listeners are clear on is the difference between a hybrid and a straight electric vehicle. Tell us about that, Stan.
Yeah, there's different versions. Basically, a plug-in hybrid vehicle, a standard hybrid uses both gasoline and an electric motor. A plug-in hybrid adds a little bit bigger battery, and so you get a certain range out of the plug-in electric-only range. Like the Chevy Volt will go now 53 miles before it converts over to using the gasoline. There's a new Toyota Prius Prime coming out this year, 2017 model, that'll go about 25 miles and then reverts back to gasoline when you run out of electricity as the battery drops off. But the benefit of that is you can go either way. You can just put gas in and go, or you can use the electric and you'll actually save money, about half the price if you charge for electricity. And then a pure electric is electrons only. You have to charge it up overnight. But we do have a lot of public charging around the area here. And then with the Tesla group, they've actually set up their own supercharger network. So you can go state to state in your car. And most of the Model S's with a 80 kilowatt hour battery pack will go at least 220 miles. With the 100 kilowatt hour battery pack now exceeding 300 miles, I think, in range before you have to recharge.
Thank you, Stan. And tell us about, from a business aspect, being a realtor, driving a car around, how's that feel?
There's a little bit of planning, but you know, we have two now and only one charger. And I drive all over the place. My wife drives even more than I do, and we have, knock on wood, never had an issue locally with range. We've never had to use a local plug-in ever. So it's so easy. It's like plugging your iPhone at night. Just plug it in, and we usually take alternating turns on the nights. If she drove a little bit more than me, I'll say, all right, you plug it in. It's 4 or 5 hours. You don't even think about it. It stops charging once it's fully charged.
So is that a specialty device, the plug-in for the Tesla?
It depends. You can get one set up in your garage. I just put a 220 outlet, plug it right in, like you're plugging into the wall, like a washing machine.
Yeah, where you drive.
Stan, the other ones, are they specialty, or do they have just a regular 110 cord, or how do they plug in?
Yeah, anytime you buy anything with a plug-in electric vehicle port, you'll get what they call level 1 charger. So that will plug into any 110 outlet in your garage, or even some people drop it out a window sometimes. Yeah, plug in. But and then basically the other side, the plug that goes into the car has a 5-pin connector, and that communicates back to this little box in the cable. And then there's a little contactor in there. I like to call them a power gate. But all these charging stations, we have level 2 that run off a 240, and you can also install it in your home. And the prices come way down. You can buy them through Home Depot or Lowe's online for about anywhere from $450 to $650 now. They come weatherproof. You can put them outside or in your garage. So they're really convenient. And then working with MD Energy, we have a bunch of public charging stations around town that offer free electricity at no cost. So you can actually, if you're in a certain area, if you go to an app called plugshare.com, you can find these locally. Also, a lot of the cars are equipped with GPS, and they'll actually show you where nearby charging stations are, if they're like a charge point system, that sort of thing.
Excellent. Are we getting more and more electric vehicles around the valley?
I think so, and especially Tesla. It's been amazing to watch the growth of that. A lot of executives out here have bought them, and then we get a lot of visitors from Los Angeles as well. And with the supercharger network, have you used that to run back and forth?
We go to Laguna all the time. We go to San Diego all the time. We stop sometimes in Prim, Barstow, San Capistrano, Rancho Cucamonga, and it's super fast. You know, some of these chargers are slow. Like the one in my garage, you get 30 miles of charge per hour, whereas these you can get like, you can do the majority, 80% of your charge within 15, 20 minutes. We're talking like 180 miles of charge.
That's pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I have
get
my
a cup of coffee and charge your car.
Yeah,
Yes.
in Barstow, we'll stop at the Chili's, eat, use the bathroom, come out, and we're ready to go.
So they have a charger at the Chili's?
Yeah, so it's in the same.
What's in a
Barstow.
strip mall or something?
Yeah, it's Barstow area, right?
Yeah, there's like, because everyone stops in Barstow, there's like 8 chargers, and some of them are solar panel chargers, and it's so much more convenient than you think. And then we get to the hotel, and they'll charge it for you if you go to the right hotel. So there's a couple of things you have to do ahead of time. Most of the places you get the best parking spot because it's the charging spots. It's at first it's a little weird. It feels a little uncomfortable, but then I can't imagine going to a gas station. I can't imagine dealing with any of that anymore. I'll never own a gas powered car again.
So it kind of makes you feel a little privileged now.
A little bit, and don't even get me. It drives better than any vehicle I've ever driven in my life. It's so smooth.
It is incredible. So back to what you were talking about earlier, Stan, and the ranges on these. If you've got a 10 to 20 mile commute, you could buy one of these cars and never use any gas on the way or back from work.
Exactly right. Yes, and then you plug in overnight, or if you do get stuck, a lot of the Nissan Leaf, the BMW i3, the different cars that are coming out that are pure electric, they started with about an 80 to 100 mile range, but even the newer models are range on those. And then the new Tesla's coming out with a Model 3, Chevrolet's coming out with a Bolt EV this year that has over 200 mile range for about $35,000 off the lot at base price. So as those battery prices come down, it gets more and more cost affordable. And then, as you mentioned, that supercharger station to run to LA, when you buy a Model S, you get that electricity at no cost. You get that's free
For now,
electricity for now. Yeah,
they're going to start charging. But yeah, and then when they released the Model 3, when Tesla released the Model 3, the 35,000 entry level Tesla, there were, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, 400,000 reservations within the first week.
Wow.
Like an iPhone, and you had to put $1,000 down. So the demand is there.
Yes, yeah. People are interested. It's changing slowly, but as I think the main thing is just getting people in the cars to see what they feel like and get them behind the wheel. I think if we can do more of that, you'll feel the difference, the electric motor torque.
So that's all good stuff. Tell us, what's the future of electric vehicles? Who doesn't have a car, or maybe I should say, who are your choices out there to buy cars? Where should our listeners be going to look at electric vehicles?
That's great. Yes, as I mentioned already, the Chevrolet Volt, actually the plug-in hybrid's been around for about 3 or 4 years. There's 4 Chevrolet dealerships in town here. You've got Findlay Chevrolet, Henderson Chevrolet, Fairway Chevrolet, and let's see, I have to think of that. There's one more over in North Los Angeles. Sorry about that.
Ed Bozarth.
Yeah, Ed Bozarth, exactly. Yeah, and then Nissan, we've got 4 Nissan dealerships: AutoNation Nissan, United Nissan, I think Planet Nissan, and Henderson Nissan as well. So those are for the pure electric Nissan Leaf. Ford has both the Focus EV, pure electric, and then plug-in hybrids such as the Fusion Energy and the C-Max Energy. So those are good calls as well. And then we will see the Toyota's coming out with a plug-in version of the Prius Prime, the new 2017 now. So at the high end, Porsche has a Panamera SE hybrid, a plug-in hybrid, and a Cayenne plug-in hybrid. We'll be featuring those at the Greenfest show in April. So there's a lot of good features. Tesla, of course, we have the Gigafactory up north, and we have a service center down here in Las Vegas where you can actually take a look at and then you do have to order your Tesla online, and they deliver it to you, but you can pick it up at the service center after you specified the features you want.
Well, that's good, Stan. I'm glad you mentioned that, and I'm going to go back and ping the Greenfest again. For those of you who are interested in electric vehicles, we always have a few electric vehicles on display at Greenfest, and bring your kids out. They're always awed by these electric cars, and we have a lot of great events for Greenfest. Thank you, gentlemen, on updating us on electric vehicles, and thank you for joining us today on our show, Shades of Green. And you have a great week, and stay green out there.